everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Face the Music podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Sarey
and Emanuel Brown.
And we're super excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about how strangers are going to be more invested in your music than people that you know. So that'll be a very interesting topic that we touch on today. However, before we get started, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Lemon Perfect. Thank you so much. Everyone at the Lemon Perfect team has been amazing. We absolutely love these waters, and this podcast would not have been possible without them. So thank you so much. Cheers, and let's take a sip.
Yeah, water never tasted so good. Drink more lemons.
Okay, I got peach raspberry.
We rocking with the OG this time.
Yes.
Original lemon, zero sugar.
Peach raspberry. Oh man.
That's probably like my third favorite.
They're all so, it's just.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. So.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay. So this is a very interesting topic to touch on because I think personally, I refused to believe that this was true for a long time.
Absolutely.
Right? And so let's talk about, first of all, why we think that.
Okay.
So
you should start.
Okay.
You start.
So why is it that strangers are more interested in you than your family, friends, any kind of relationship that's pre-existing outside of people you may not have met yet or have very little connection with?
Right.
And I think my family and my friends used to come to my shows, and it's one of those things where it's like, they obviously rocked with me very heavily. And they would go and tell other people about my music, and I'm sure a lot of you who are watching this probably have that same experience. But you're probably thinking like, oh, but they tell my music to strangers, and I think there's a big difference between that mutuality. I don't know if that's a word, but mutuality of like, okay,
we'll say it's a word.
Yeah. That mutual relationship that your family and friends may have. Yeah, that's a word. Versus kind of like running ads. Versus, getting in front of the faces of people who don't know you. Right. And the reason why, personally, for me, I say that I kind of run with that motto is because your family and friends, they've been with you for a long time. They kind of already have this expectation.
Right.
They know that you're going to sound good and all of those things. I think it's different when that line is drawn of like, okay, this is like someone who has no connection to me, brand new fan. And so that kind of like relationship is already established of like the moving forward. It's kind of like, okay, like this is somebody who... This is someone who is just now getting introduced to my music, so they're like super excited about me, and they're so engaged with what I have going on,
and they're open to potentially hearing something different.
Exactly. But here's the other thing, right? There's only so much your family and friends can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's why I say that. But for you, why do you think people who are watching this, both artists and just music enthusiasts or even fans, because maybe the fans would be interested in kind of learning about that, who may be like, I kind of want to dip into music.
Right.
And experiment. Why do you think that they should focus more on reaching the attention of strangers?
I think it's hard for people who know you to truly 100% support you all the time.
Yes.
Because they may see you doing something or being successful with something that they never had the courage to go do for themselves.
Ooh.
Right?
Wow.
A lot of
That's
people are afraid to see other people succeed, so they want to see them fail. Right? So they'll try to like, and this is like, for me, this has happened. Like, I'll have family who will be like, oh, you doing that again? Oh, you doing your little hobby? Oh, you rapping again? Oh, this motherfucker ain't never gonna blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But it's interesting, like when somebody you've never met a day in your life finds your music via a Facebook ad, a show, just walking on the street, you know, through word of mouth, they just hear your music and the first thing they say is, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Oh man, like how long you been doing this? It's really crazy how somebody who's never met you a day in their life, who's never given you the time of day, a day in their life, will give you more time than the people that have known you your entire life.
Yes.
And that's not just in music, but in everything, right? Like I'm pretty sure Lemon Perfect, right? Let's use Lemon Perfect, for example. I'm pretty sure when they started this company, nobody probably believed that they can make a water that is good, that has 0 sugar. You're asinine. No fucking way. But then they went and tried it out and gave it to different people. And then they had belief from other people who didn't know them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then that success came.
And we don't know the facts.
Yeah.
Of, you know, right? Like we obviously don't know the nuances of Lemon Perfect in that regard of like, but I think in regards to like more in depth.
Yeah.
But what we do know is, you know, there's only so much you can do, right? Like there's only so much your family and friends, like you said, will invest in you. And I think,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say, I think it's important to, find, you have to grow. And I think that with that small circle that you're always inviting the same people out to and things like that, you don't grow that way.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it gets to a point where it's like, I learn, at least in my life, right? Some people have family who is very supportive, and you're lucky. If you do, you're lucky. And hold on to them, appreciate them, because there's a lot of people out here who do music. You know, we're specifically talking about music, who do music, who have no support from anyone within their current life. Immediate life. I was one of them. You know what I mean? Like my dad used to be a singer, and then he just stopped for some reason, which I don't know why. But, you know, I remember for years, you know, he'd be like, oh, you still doing that music shit? All my family would say that, right? But I learned along the journey with family, at least, nobody gives you the respect until they see results.
Thank you. And that's what it is. That's what the fuck it is. And that's why you need to be reaching people you don't fucking know.
Yep.
That's exactly why. Because people don't, you know, it's kind of like that saying, you don't realize what you got until it's gone.
Absolutely.
Or you don't realize that what you've been looking for all your life is right in front of you. And it's kind of like that. So that's what I was trying to get at earlier.
Yeah.
But I was one of those people. I was one of those people who had the support of my family, because family and musicians.
Right.
However, I think that the thing is like mixing business with pleasure can be not a good thing.
Right.
And I've seen that play into my family. You know, when you're basically doing a family business of entertainers and people are booking shows and people are performing together. Like, yes, like there's the magical moments, but I also think there's those tough moments of like disagreements, and then feeling because you're entitled, because you're family, and or you're older, you're the older sibling, you gotta listen. And I just feel like we have a lot to learn from people we don't know. Yeah. And the people that we love, the people who already support us, we know. Like if they've been there for a minute, we know what they like, we know what they're looking for. However, I think there's nobody in this world that will be more honest to you about how they feel about your music or your artistry than people you don't know.
Absolutely, because there's no connection.
Yeah, there's no bias.
They don't give a shit. Like people will be like, "Oh man, you're garbage," right? And then they'll keep it moving.
Right, exactly.
With their day. They'll be like, "Hey, you know, stop doing music forever." Right? Like
it's so easy for people to do that but you know what? Okay, so there's the positive nuances of like, oh, you could reach people and they could become fans. Right. We've seen that happen for us during KSC and on our own.
Absolutely.
And then it's some people don't know how to look at this as a good thing, and I understand because I also sometimes struggle with my confidence as well. Just because you do certain things that other people deem as successful doesn't mean you feel that way.
Right.
And so what I was about to get at is, even for the strangers that don't like you, you know, it's so easy for bitches to get on Instagram and YouTube in the comment section and Facebook and talk about you're a piece of shit. And you could go back and forth and just fucking argue with username Yuki215.
But your bitch ass would never say that to my face, though.
Not only that, but not the fake profile photo.
Yeah.
Not the fake.
Yeah, right.
You got some nerve, bitch, to be talking shit about someone who's really putting themselves out there like that. That's bravery.
Exactly.
That's courage.
Exactly.
That's taking risk and being unafraid to go after what you believe in.
But what you're saying is exactly also not having a fear to fail.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
A lot of people won't do things because they're like, man, if I fail, like, you know, then it's over. But it's like failing is a part of the process. You know what I mean? Like in this beautiful studio we're in Fibonacci Studios, I'm pretty sure the owner has failed numerous times throughout his career and his life and numerous things. But if he just gave up, he wouldn't have had this beautifully crafted studio where we're sitting at and doing this podcast.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Robert Ironman. Thank you to the Fibonacci Studio team. It's a great space.
Absolutely.
It's hot, but it's a little hot, and I can't strip down, you know, because there aren't gay men that we know.
Bust down.
But, however, also just think about people who are watching, and even for us, think about your favorite artist and their story. Think about their story. Now, what I can tell you is this. My favorite artist, people who know me know, is Ava Max.
Right.
Now, I remember reading a couple of times about Ava Max, about her going to LA and not knowing anybody. And that's like a typical story, isn't it?
Yep.
And that was actually your story.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he's not from here. I think a lot of people know that. People know that you're from Virginia. You're from Newport News.
2 up, 2 down, baby.
Right. And so the typical story from what I've seen from people I look up to who inspire me are like, I moved somewhere with $20 on my bank account. I didn't know anybody and I made it happen.
But you know what? That again comes back to the original point that we talked about of like not having fear.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You believe in yourself so much. Like, most people, like, let me tell y'all something.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand, to be in this lifestyle, you have to be crazy.
Right.
You have to be part delusional because, like, do you know how crazy it sounds to say I'm going to take $50 and go across wherever?
Yeah. Even
to
if
where
it's just
I know
one fucking
no
state
one.
over.
Yeah, to where I know nobody. And just make it happen.
It sounds, most people would be like, you're stupid.
Absolutely.
You're fucking dumb.
And guess what?
Get a real job.
You are stupid. But at the same time, if this is what you want to do, then this is what you got to do, right?
Yes.
Right.
I just feel like that's why strangers are important.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if they have something positive to say or negative. That person could change your life.
They stopped.
Yeah.
They stopped what they were doing to take 2 seconds to press play.
Exactly. And I'll never forget, you know, how Ava Max got her start was her brother knew Circuit, the producer. Circuit's a huge pop producer.
Yeah.
And she went to his birthday party and sang happy birthday.
Right.
And that's how she got involved with Circuit, and then she ended up signing with Atlantic.
Oh, wow.
And she, you know, and if I'm not wrong, she actually went to LA twice. So she moved around a couple places. She lived in a church in like Paris or something for like a year, I think.
Wow.
But she went to LA when she was younger in her teenage years, but nobody wanted to sign her because she was too young. And then she went back as, I think, like after she graduated. I might be wrong.
Disclaimer.
But I believe that's the story. Is she went back, no one wanted to sign her. She was writing songs, creating demos, and then she went back as an adult with her brother. And then, and this is another reason why family and friends, you shouldn't rely on them, is because, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, her brother was her manager and things didn't work out.
Oh, wow.
And that's another reason why you shouldn't rely on family and friends. You shouldn't mix pleasure with business. Because that shit could go left real quick. And the difference is like, if you have a good relationship, you want to maintain that. Right? Like, you don't want nothing to fuck that up. And I feel like when you take that risk and it fucks up, it not only fucks up business, but it becomes personal. And some people don't know how to draw that line, and which is why it's best to just...
Most of y'all don't.
Right. Bitch. So get it together, figure out your fucking life. Anyway, so yeah, but I think that was her story, is like kind of doing that and going to LA once again, right? She didn't just go to LA and was like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not going to come back, and left. She came back because she was like, I know this is going to happen, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to try it again.
That's where the delusion comes in.
Yeah.
Be delusional.
Yeah.
But be strategically delusional, right? No, seriously, because like a lot of people want to go for their dreams, right? But like there's no plan. Right? If you're going to be broke, okay, understand you need to be broke, right? But also be broke with a plan to not be broke in 6 months.
Okay, exactly. Right? Stack up.
Yeah, like, I mean, the artist Logic, the rapper Logic, slept on his best friend's couch for an entire year before he had a break.
Wow.
He slept in his basement and recorded every day.
That's not everyone's story, though, right?
It's not.
Like, some people work their whole career and sign a record deal at fucking... They've been doing it since 16. They signed a record deal at 40.
Absolutely. Cher didn't blow up till she was 40.
Crazy, right?
I think Bruce Springsteen was 56 when he got his first hit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let's see, who else? Ty Dolla $ign was 29 when he finally hit, I believe.
Normalize pursuing your dreams in your 40s. Absolutely.
Jay-Z was 27 when he hit. Who else? 2 Chainz was 37.
Crazy.
37.
Crazy. And the thing is like, we are now in a position, me, you, Keontae, Mosea, King Dow, like, we are in a different place than we were years ago, where now a lot of the fans that are in my life now, I've never known them prior. Never. And so, like, and that's a good thing. They stay invested. They stay. There's that. Of course, I love them and I want to share my world with them.
Absolutely.
But, you know, there's also that sense of like, you know, there's some things that obviously you keep private.
Absolutely.
But the point is that, you know, it kind of creates this dynamic, and that dynamic, it grows. Like, that fan relationship, it blossoms into something where they're so invested into you because they see the growth. And they just love being a part of that journey. And I'm not saying your family and friends don't, but what I'm saying is some do. I'm just saying for people who don't know you, it's kind of like you want to keep that momentum going. Yeah. Like, if you got strangers in your life who enjoy your music, you want to be able to continue to find other people like them. And if it's going to be like, it's just going to evolve into something that would have never got to where it was if it was just your family and friends.
Absolutely. I mean, there are very rare instances where your family will like become the people that spread the gospel. On who you are, right? But also, I think if you really think about the people who come into your life and support you from shows, buy merch, everything like that, they then become your family. Yeah. Then they become your street team. Then they become the people who will spread the gospel for you faster than you can ever think. Like, literally, one of our fans and one of our friends, she's our friend. Yes. Shout out Annalise. What's up, Annalise? She literally was listening to 90s R&B off of KSC on her Instagram story. And she was drunk and high, sitting in the front seat, not driving, by the way. She was very safe. And she screamed to somebody who was walking by that they need to listen to our music and said our name. And then the guy came back and was like, what did you say? What did you say? And then she was like, oh, you need to listen to King Dow, Sarey, Savvy, and Emanuel Brown's music right now. And then he was like, oh, like right now. And she's like, your phone.
Pull out your phone. And that's now, okay, let me just make something clear.
Come on.
That is rare instances.
Absolutely.
I love y'all. And I feel like you get so much of me already. I'm not saying we couldn't be friends, but what I'm saying is that I don't want you to go into it thinking that go into it thinking that we're going to build a great relationship because we
Absolutely.
definitely are. But I think that it's, and I don't want to make it seem like it's favoritism. It's not favoritism. It's not none of those things. It's just life puts you in certain situations and, it's like a time and a place and things just evolve differently.
Right.
And that's what happened to a very, very select few of fans who have now became friends.
Absolutely.
And so I consider all my fans my friends. And then, there's obviously, but, it's one of those things where it's like, I would hope that people would understand that there's a level of trust.
Yeah.
And communication.
Absolutely.
And so, but I think the whole aspect of it is like, that's just one instance of how a stranger could really change. Because there's so many fans who.
I mean, God, man, it's like.
It's like what?
It's like. How it's so amazing to me how somebody you have never met a day in your life can become the biggest supporter of you, who lives halfway across the world, shares your music with people halfway across the world, but somebody I grew up with down the street won't even buy my shirt.
Sometimes they don't even want to give you their time.
Yeah, they won't go out of their way to help build something they know you've been passionate about for years. And I mean, they're not obligated to either. Let me just put that out there, right? They're not obligated to, but they'll be like, oh man, that's never going to work, blah, blah, blah. But then when the results start coming in, and I'm looking at y'all motherfuckers right now. Then when the results start coming in, you want to start calling and texting, being like, oh yeah, that's my cousin. That's my blah, blah, blah. He in the music industry. He doing big things. And they're like, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah. Stop calling me.
It's very much ho-ish.
Stop calling me.
It's very much ho-ish.
Stop texting me. Lose my number.
Right. Because it's like, how you weren't there for the bad times. And now you want to come around, you want to jump on the train. It's very ho-ish to me. Very ho-ish.
Extremely.
And so I'm not with that. And also, I just think that there's a different belief with strangers who become fans first versus people who you meet who become like family and friends first.
Have you ever noticed that like when you start gaining like more fans, they'll try to be like, oh man, I've been a day one. I've been a day one, man. You just came on. I've been day one. And it's like, whoa, wait a second, what the fuck's going on here?
Hold on,
right? It's like cool, but it's sort of crazy at the same time. But then like your family, who's like, and then it's like they'll look at you and be like, oh man, that's just Sarey. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, wait a second, man. Like, yeah, I'm still Sarey, or I'm still Emanuel, but like, don't try to discount what I'm doing because you don't see the bigger picture.
It's unconventional for people.
Absolutely.
Music is unconventional. People are just like, oh, get a real job. Let me just remind some of you bitches about something, because a lot of you bitches are very misinformed.
Yeah.
To put it the nice way, you're misinformed, and you really need to start opening your mind and closing your legs. And the truth of the matter is, we live in an at-will state. So for some of you bitches who don't know what that means, it means that your employer can basically fire you and not give you a reason. So if you really want to play that game and talk about, oh, it's not a real job, your job is just as not secure as an entrepreneur's job. The difference is I get to decide how much money I make. When you go to work, someone else decides that for you.
Absolutely.
Someone else decides whether or not you need to go home early or whether or not you get paid salary.
The structure is already built for you. So only thing you need to do is show up and do what you need to do, help further their dream and their company.
And that's comfortability.
Absolutely.
That's what that is.
And if you want that, so be it.
Cool. If you want to climb up the corporate ladder, do you. However, do not knock off the hustle of people who are trying to do their own shit. Every person, every artist in this world ever, Beyonce, was first someone who was unknown and local before she got to where she got to, right? And you never know when you are watching, speaking to, working with someone who could be just as big.
But you know the thing I always find super funny?
What?
Is people will say,
what?
Oh yeah, I used to work with them. Oh yeah, I used to go to school with them.
No. My favorite. Don't forget me. Don't forget me when you blow up.
You know why I like the I used to do this, I used to do that, because it's like what I was in.
Yeah. Bitch.
You don't know me no more.
You don't know us? Who are you? Why are you here?
You know, I was unemployed. I was unemployed at one time.
See, and this is what it is. That's exactly what the fuck it is. It's like, don't be mad at me because you chose to fucking, stay comfortable. Don't be mad at me because you had a dream and you were too scared to go for it. Don't be mad at me. Bitch, that was a choice that you made.
Absolutely.
And and also there's some of that like jealousy too with like some people in your life who claim to support you.
Absolutely.
There's that jealousy of like, oh, what did that person do to deserve it? You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes bitches don't even have to say it. Like you could just tell by the way they talk to you, or the way they look at you, or the way they act towards you.
And it's so interesting because, again, I think all in all, what we're saying here is that if people know you, most people, if they know you and they're not working in the same field as you, if they're not chasing the same dream as you, they will never believe in what you're trying to do because they can't see your vision.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But yet, people who have never, ever met you a day in your life.
In their life.
In their life. In your life. Will believe in the vision quicker than someone who's known you your entire life.
Forgive us, y'all. It's like almost 1 a.m.
Yeah.
While we're shooting this right now.
But we here.
So yeah, and I think that's why this is a very interesting conversation about why you should be more emotionally invested and physically invested, mentally, all of that shit with strangers.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just different. And there's also, I think, like less there's like there's just less headaches to deal with, versus people that and it's just one of those things where, y'all, I'm telling you right now, like, if you are not the type of person, like, I'm an introvert. I know that's hard to believe for some of you bitches, but I am an introvert. I am. But when you're in the music business and you want to succeed, like a lot of people say they want to succeed, you have to push yourself to be comfortable in front of people you don't know.
Absolutely.
Now that is just common sense.
Absolutely.
And when you perform at shows, right? And it's okay if you do this because there's nothing wrong with this. If you perform at shows and you're opening for a friend of yours or something like that, you're exposed to brand new people who have never met you, or may have heard of you because of that person who brought you on. And I think that that's a great way if you're an introvert. If you're an extrovert when you're performing, that's a great way to meet new fans. The only thing I would say about that is you would have to be consistently doing shows. You couldn't do one show a year and be like, I'm good. And obviously being consistent with content. That's another thing about Strange. I think that's kind of like the nuance of what makes strangers support versus family and friends. Family and friends are like, okay, cool. Strangers are like, we want more.
But you know what though? I think you just said something that just hit me that I think works in both ways, right?
What did I say?
If you're a stranger and you're someone that knows me, if you consistently keep doing something and you keep doing it, sooner or later I have to believe, right?
Yeah. And strangers, when they see how much you believe in yourself and how much you fight for yourself, they will match that energy.
Absolutely.
They will match that. Okay, not everybody. So there's levels to this shit. Some people will go so hard for you, and other people will go, they'll go for you, but it's probably not in the same sense as like than other people. But all in all, y'all, please focus on, running social media ads, focus on creating consistent content, trying to reach new people that way, instead of being like, family and friends, share my shit. Like, what?
Share your own shit.
And stop leaving comments. Stop leaving your fucking links in the fucking IG comments. That shit, I can't click on that shit, bitch. People still do that shit. In fact, the label that I used to work with did that shit. And I used to get on them like, what the fuck is this? Bitch, you think people are on their desktop looking on Instagram, bitch? So anyway.
Don't DM people links to their music either.
Oh Lord. Yeah, that's a way to not attract a stranger who could have been a fan.
Absolutely.
So I think that's pretty much what we're getting at. So y'all pursue the people who don't know you. Those are that's the gold mine. That is the gold mine. Whether those people talk shit about you, they're still talking about you, bitch.
Come on.
Talk shit about me all you want. I'm still gonna be headlining.
And we hear you talking. We hear you talking.
Right. And you bitches think that feel free to sit and just be a keyboard warrior. Do that. But will you ever sit here, put your face out there, and talk some shit and bring accountability and whatever? Are you going to face the music? You going to face the music? I don't know. I don't think I can say that for a lot of people I know in my life. I think a lot of people are all talk.
Absolutely.
I think that a lot of musicians are all talk.
Absolutely.
So I think if you're really serious about this shit, start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable and being in situations with people you don't know who might either talk down about you or talk great about you. And that's what I want to leave this episode with personally. What do you want to leave the viewers with?
I just think knowing that everything is up to you.
Oh.
Everything is up to you.
Okay.
Whatever happens is up to you.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. I love that. Wow. That was great. I need to close my bottle for that shit. That was great. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Really appreciated all of you for coming in, listening to what we got to say, because you don't got to be here.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you give a damn, it means so much to the both of us.
Absolutely. And
if you want to meet like-minded musicians just like ourselves, I know it's hard, right? But if you are an introvert and you're kind of like, is there a different way I can meet people? Vamper Pro.
Come on.
Vamper Pro Academy. Not only that, if you are looking to get educated about the music business and merchandising and contracts and management, I recommend that you sign up for Vamper Pro Academy. I have a 10% off affiliate link. We're going to leave it in the description box below. Check that out. It's not expensive at all. I think Vamper offers like 3 different types of deals. You could pay monthly, every 6 months, or a year. It's not expensive. When you're investing in your music, nothing should be expensive. You should be all in.
Yep.
You should be all in with everything, and you get unlimited swipes. It's kind of like Tinder for musicians. If you're interested in someone's music and you want to connect with them, swipe right. If you don't, swipe left. You get 100% of your royalties because they also do distribution, but they also do publishing. They do sync.
Money, honey.
Right, and they do non-exclusive contracts. We both know the team personally.
Yep.
Amazing people. It's non-exclusive contracts for the sync, so you're more than welcome to take your music to other places. However, I would recommend starting with Vamper Pro Academy if you want to learn about the music business and learn how to network. So make sure to go check that out. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And don't forget, we drop episodes every other week. Every 2 weeks, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Absolutely.
That being said, we love all of you. We will see you on the next.
Subscribe.
Yes.
And comment.
And comment. I don't care if it's good or bad.
We're YouTube only, people.
Right.
It's the only place you can find us.
Right. We want to make sure everyone could find it. That's why.
Yeah.
That's
make sure it's free.
Exactly. So we will see you at the next episode. We love y'all. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Whew. I know that was a little bit over 30, but...
Well, I'm sweating like I stole something.
Like this.